Video game maverick Lorne Lanning is here to talk about how he's pulling up the Oddworld stakes and moving them on to stranger pastures. Get it? Plus, who needs film school? We've got the insider tips on how to make your vanity projects look like Hollywood gold. Yeah, and finally, we're stepping deep into the underground urban art scene because, yes, that is, in fact, how we roll. Now, remove safety latch and point away from face because it's attack of the show.
Pick up on this.
He's a pretzel.
These are great.
You're gonna. What are we on doing?
We're live. We're live. Welcome
to the show, everyone.
Yes.
It is Tuesday. Lots of interesting things to talk about.
Sarah's here.
Sarah, how's it going?
What?
All right.
Yeah, give me a sec.
We've
All right. Oh, side note. I played the ATV for the PSP today, the ATV something Fury.
How
or
was
whatever. It loads the disclaimers telling you not to try this at home. Then it loads like the intro movie. Then you skip that and it loads the main menu. And then you start loading your level, which takes several minutes.
What are you talking about, dude? Seriously.
The
It just loads. It takes too long to load.
Yeah, that's it.
Nice.
You with me, buddy?
I'm with
Come
you.
on.
I'm with you. I'm with
You
you.
made a
Yeah.
Don't. Okay.
I'm good.
All right. Websites, internet sites, things on the net. Let's talk about them.
Yes.
While we can't officially sanction this site, we can point you to it. It's cartoon-fridge.com. But you'll notice we're loading a Google cache. Why?
It's down.
Yeah, and we were pretty much expecting that. I mean, you care to explain?
No, it was cool at first because I came across this a couple days ago and it had every episode, well, not every episode, but pretty much every episode, like Simpsons, Family Guy, Futurama, you name it. They were all on this site and allow you to watch them. You would just have to install a plugin.
Right. Well, they say it's a Nullsoft video plugin.
Yeah,
so.
I don't know. I don't trust any plugins that aren't like, from mainstream companies. Well, I know
Right.
Nullsoft is a mainstream company, but it could have been modified and they could have put other
Sure.
things in there like spyware and adware.
But you were saying that there was many other sites like this doing
Yeah.
the same thing, and you think it's just to make money?
Well,
off
I
Google
saw
ads?
like 2 or 3 other sites that were just like this. That they kind of just changed the header graphic. So I have a feeling that these are just kind of popping up just to make money or something.
Right.
There's got to be something behind the scenes that we don't know about.
Well,
Like
it's
some kind of adware, spyware,
it's so
or something.
blatantly illegal to just
Right.
put full episodes
Right,
up
right,
there
like,
without
why?
commercials and everything.
Yeah.
Like, why would anybody take the risk?
Doesn't make sense.
Anyway, it was cartoonfridge.com, and you used to be able to watch all the Simpsons and all the Aqua Teen Hunger Force and yada yada, but
Right.
it looks like no more. It's
down now.
So we'll see if it comes back up, though.
Now, have you seen this photo gallery?
Yes,
Chris Jordan.
yes.
This is amazing stuff. This is basically it's photos of a bunch of like garbage and trash.
Right.
But
Check out the
it's
crushed
a really
cars.
cool site. Go to the cell phones. The cell phones
Yeah.
are one of my favorite.
All right.
Look at this. Just
This-
like hundreds of thousands of cell phones. It's all amazing. Like different types of technology that have been crushed. There's some kind
here,
of
go ahead,
fetish.
go for it.
Some kind of fetish here, right, Kev? Like
Definitely, crush fetishes are huge on the net.
what is this exactly? This looks
That's
like
cell phone chargers.
cell phone chargers. Now, how do they sort them like this? I don't understand.
The circuit boards, I think, is interesting there,
Yeah,
too.
that's
That's what we're
pretty
looking
cool.
at. Hard drives and circuit boards. Basically, it's being shown in a gallery here in L.A.,
Mm-hmm.
and I guess that will be in September and October. It's going to be in a gallery in New York as well.
Yeah.
Just a really cool kind of like art project. ChrisJordan.com. Really neat stuff.
Yeah,
Good
definitely something
photos.
to check
Definitely wallpaper material as well. Now, this one, I don't know really where this fits in. Sarah was ranting and raving about this one this morning.
Yeah, she was really
A
excited.
guy dressed as a Klingon invades a Civil War reenactment.
Yeah. How'd you
That's
find
right.
this one?
Yeah, Sarah, what's the deal with this?
Why are you blaming this on me?
You said that the Civil
She's
War
like, oh, I
reenactment
love Klingons. They're
is...
so hot.
She
when they're
loves
dressed
Civil
up like-
War, and it's
yeah.
even better when there's Klingons or something,
Yeah,
right?
something like that.
No?
No, you're right. I'm deeply in love with the site.
All right.
All right.
Well, why don't we explain it, though?
Yes.
So
this guy just kind of invaded. They didn't know he was coming, right? He just showed up out of
he
nowhere.
literally said, how about I put on a Klingon uniform and crash a Civil War reenactment? So there's photos of, like, him hanging out with the guys and the ladies. Yeah, look at that. It's a nice umbrella, man.
All those girls look a little pissed off.
But what's interesting
Were
is
they not happy to have him there?
I think they actually enjoyed having him there. They did some like dentistry on him, so there he is getting a teeth pulled.
That's interesting.
Yeah, a tooth pulled rather. And apparently the South won because they had the Klingon
They had the
on their
well,
side.
he's got all the best weapons.
Right.
That's probably
the
why.
Kling Chucks.
Kling stars.
Yes. All right.
I don't know.
Fair enough.
All right.
Interesting what goes on that old internet. So in addition to everything that we're showing you here today, someone calls in. They're going to receive some Jinx t-shirts.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Free Jinx t-shirts are always good.
We're taking your calls for Oddworld creator Lauren Lanning. The number is 800-839-7880. And you can email us through our web form at g4tv.com/askaots. And you can chat with us in our IRC chat room at chat.g4tv.com.
That's right.
All right, coming up, Lauren Lanning will be here to talk about taking his designs to the next level and maybe to just some dirt on EA Games. Stay tuned.
Attack of the Superman. Attack. Attack of the Super Attack.
All right, our first guest is the creator of the hit series Oddworld. Need I say more? Please welcome Lauren Lanning to the show. Lauren, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
First off, let me ask quite simply, what the hell? What is going on? Are you quitting the industry? Are you drowning kittens in a bucket? Are you lashing out at everybody? Are you going to go postal on EA? What is going on with you? Because I'm seeing reports all across the board with different things.
Sure, and I appreciate you asking.
Right.
You're
not drowning kittens in a bucket.
We're not drowning kittens.
Okay, just making sure. That was a Spong rumor.
We got past that.
Okay.
And we've had therapy, and we're all good now.
Good. But what is going on?
Yeah. Well, what's happened is we shut down the internal development, the internal game production facility in San Luis Obispo. And there's a multitude of different reasons for that. But most importantly, we want to focus on a lot of new ventures. And when you're involved in game production today, if you run your own facility, you are absolutely consumed by that facility.
Right.
And it really narrows your options. And it's really an exciting time for us. And when Sherry McKenna and I started this company, we started it as a property development company. And that's what we want to do. And we want to blaze these properties across multiple forms of media. And when you look at what's happening in the world today, it's really an exciting time.
Well, absolutely.
So,
but now the question here is that you said you're when you say something like that, like, hey, we want to branch out to other mediums,
yeah.
People take that as if you're abandoning video games. Are you planning on doing that, or will video games still be in your future?
We're not abandoning video games. We're abandoning internal production.
Okay.
So we don't see ourselves setting up a facility and continuing to run that and continuing to feed that very hungry, big fat, crying baby that is, has a voracious appetite.
But now there's countless Oddworld fans out there. I mean, the franchise has been successful. The biggest understatement in the world is saying that. But are you going to outsource Oddworld to India? I mean, will there be another Oddworld game made?
Well, that kind of depends. I mean, what we're looking at, a lot of our energy is on the Oddworld CG motion picture. And if that goes the way that we hope, then it's, the synergy today with multimedia is that if there's a big movie that's applicable to games, you're going to see simultaneous releases. So a lot of our energy is focused on the motion picture, and if that happens, then you could see a lot of possibilities with an Oddworld game. But what we intend to do is look at more of the outsourcing models and co-relationships across the industry. I mean, we're storytellers, we're character creators, and we're innovators. That's what we do. We're not. There are people in the industry that build technology better than we do. We understand it. We've built some good stuff. But there are people that really sink their teeth into this stuff, and they're as passionate about technology as we are about property development, about stories and characters.
Look, we know how to do the characters. We got the CG. Yeah. You guys have the tech, so here.
Yeah, so there's a lot of relationships that can work that way. In the game industry right now, it's kind of broken in a number of different ways. It's sort of broken in the independent third-party developer-publisher relationships, especially as the costs continue to rise for next-gen in the terms of those relationships. Right. And also, we build a lot of technology in the games industry that is actually applicable towards other mediums, like television production. I mean, game engines today, with a little tailoring, could be made to revolutionize the CG television.
I loaded up Half-Life 2, and I thought it was a movie. There were moments where I was like, "This looks like an ultra-stylized movie."
It's a great example of that. Right. And so
I'm sorry. Yeah. I want to get to something else that I read in an interview regarding Electronic Arts. So you were talking about like the push or lack thereof for Oddworld Strangers. My question is, do you think that they didn't give it enough attention, and they gave more attention to a game like Need for Speed Underground? I mean, What happened with EA?
Well, I think what happened with EA is sort of indicative of the state of the industry today. In that, no, I don't feel they gave it enough attention. But at the same time, we're not bitching about it. You know, this is life in the game business.
Sure.
And
but has it strained any sort of relationship between them? Or are you now?
Well,
saying,
I don't think so. I
sorry,
mean, as I read some of the online press that says, Lorne Lanning's says these bad things about EA, I go, no, I didn't.
I
And
imagine you
grow
loading
up,
like shotguns into your trunk and building Molotov cocktails.
I mean, EA is a huge organization, and anytime you have huge organizations that are dealing with very small creative organizations, there's different types of things that either party might like different ways. But the reality is that we built the Xbox version,
right?
And EA is really a multi-platform company, and they'll be the first to tell you that. So when it didn't work out with the PS2 conversion, they pulled out a lot of the support for bringing it to the market. Now, the way the marketplace is today is that if you don't have that visibility, if those guys in the stores don't know that this game is coming and aren't telling the buyers that this is really something to look forward to, and they don't have some, POP stuff to put up on the shelves and stuff, it's just not going to fly. And the game didn't.
You need
really
the guys
fly.
on the phone nagging every caller saying, "You can pre-order your copy of Oddworld," and then they're like, "No, I'm asking a question."
Well, some of that, what it really takes is bucks, right? I mean, unless you're like BioWare, BioWare is a great example of a company that has a close community of people on the web, where they inform people that their new games are coming out. You can do that in a better way. But for the most part, it takes money to raise awareness. And that's why films have $50 million marketing budgets on them, And so those budgets got cut, and therefore Stranger didn't find his way into as many homes as we think he could have. But that's the reality of the game business, And that's one of the things that is
that one of the reasons you think you're kind of straying away from it or branching out to other opportunities because of that reality?
It's indicative of the climate of the game business today. And looking at that, if you look at yourself and you go, we tell stories, we create characters, we understand computer graphics, we understand filmmaking, we understand television. I mean, we came from television and film before we got into games, Sherry McKenna and I. If you understand those things and you take a look at the global entertainment media, the opportunities in digital media globally across films, television, and games, you kind of ask yourself, why am I dedicating all my energy to this single cause? I could be spreading it a lot more intelligently and probably be more gratified in telling better stories. And to us, that's what it's about. It's about the stories and the characters.
Okay, now finally, real quickly, rumor has it you're working on some new technology that can help out other mediums. Can you care to talk about that a little bit? When we build game engines, we sink an enormous amount of money into them. We all do. Sure.
And what we're looking at is tailoring those game engines to be delivery systems for linear CG television, even at HD quality. So when you look what's happening in the world, India, for example, and China, for example, we have these rapidly emerging middle classes. People are just getting TVs for the first time in their family heritage, except we're talking about 500 million TVs. Right? And these places are rapidly scaling up on how many channels they're delivering to these people. So we're talking, more people than live in the United States are just getting turned on to televisions, and they want to see content, right? Now, we have game technology that we've invested millions of dollars into. I mean, as an industry, we all do this. And if you understand some of the needs of television, you could be tailoring that technology to actually start creating the Hanna-Barberas, the Dekes, and the Sabans of the 21st century. Now, that's really exciting stuff, using game technology. But you have to understand games, television, film, and all those things to really synergize that stuff. And there's not a lot of people that do today. So there's huge opportunities there. And that's part of the reason why we're excited about freeing up some time to be able to pursue them.
All right. Well, we're excited to see what you have on the horizon.
Well, cool.
Lorne, thank you so much for coming on the
my
show
pleasure.
and clearing that up. We appreciate it.
Excellent.
Still ahead, we take 3 lefts and a right, and somehow we end up smack in the middle of the urban art scene. And D-Tipper Kevin Rose shows us all how to encrypt our porn. That's important. You don't want to miss it.
It's time for a little touch of shadiness I like to call my dark tips. All right, the first thing I have to do is I have to warn you, this is, what I'm about to show you, Kevin, is beta software. It means it's not released, it's not final, it's not completely tested.
Right. Well, will people be able to get it at home?
Yeah. You can download it. It's a public beta.
Okay, good. Just making
sure.
But
it's cool.
I was waiting for you to go like, here's this cool program that does all this cool stuff, and you can't have it.
You have to sign up and you might not get
Suckers.
it. No, you can actually download it, and that's not a problem.
Cool. What is it?
It's actually, you've heard of PGP.
Yes.
For encrypting
pretty good
email.
privacy,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. For encrypting email messages. Phil Zimmerman, we have him on the show a bunch of times.
Supposedly uncrackable?
Supposedly. And they've actually come out with a nice new suite. It's version 9.0 of their suite. It's a PGP desktop. And it does more than just email now. It does your instant messaging conversations. It does zip files if you want to encrypt those. But most importantly, what I really like, one of my favorite features, is the new PGP disk. Now, they've had this in older versions, but this is so much better. I'll show you how it works. If you have any type of data that you want to encrypt, the first thing you have to do right here is go down and create a new virtual disk down in the left-hand corner here. So we'll go ahead and click that. And it's going to open up this window here and specify how big you want your disk. So this is actually, it's going to use up hard drive space and create a virtual drive inside of a little tiny bit of encrypted space on the hard drive.
All right.
So we'll say 100 megabytes is fine. I just have
plenty. That's like one
video.
Video, yeah.
So
That's where she's introducing herself, but she hasn't. Oh, sorry.
Moving on, we'll go ahead and put in our username here. Kevin Rose, password phrase. We'll say, I'll put in something really easy.
Rusty
and then
trombone.
choose
Okay,
next.
cool, got it.
And then click on Start. And now it creates a 100 megabyte space on the hard drive and mounts it. So you'll see it takes less than a minute. Hold on.
Oh.
And now we have a new mounted hard drive here. You can see here it's showing up as our F drive. We can go to. Hold on.
Well, I'm just
Why do you have to make this
open
so sexual?
folders? I'm just nodding. That's all I'm doing.
All right, so here's my F drive, and
All
now
right.
anything.
It's a virtual partition.
It's a virtual partition. It's
Okay.
using up a file on your hard drive, but anything that I drag and drop in here and then exit out of PHP is going to be completely encrypted.
Oh, wow.
And then you can go to the advanced properties here and choose what type of encryption that you want. I chose 128-bit, but you can go up to 256-bit like the AES
Now,
encryption.
if you close the program, does the virtual partition stay? Or
No,
does
you
the
can
program have
unmount
to be-
it. Well, it depends on what user session that you have it set up for. If it's open for my user, it'll stay open as long as I keep it in the tray. I can add new users by clicking on Create User here, and I could add you to have access to it. So when you log in, you can actually get
Nice.
access to that information as well.
And what kind of a performance hit if I'm accessing data on an encrypted drive? Is it noticeable? Is it?
I haven't seen any type of. I mean, it unencrypts it and leaves it open and unencrypted while you're in and working with it.
Okay.
But then when you close it out, that's when it encrypts it down and locks
Gotcha.
it down. So yeah, it works great. It's completely seamless. This is beta software,
bad.
but obviously they've tested enough to release it to the public.
Free?
It's completely free right now.
That's what we love.
So yeah, and you can also shred files. There's a bunch of different stuff in here, but it's all good. You can download PGP Disk for yourself, the complete suite, at pgp.com.
You know, that's not it. You know? No.
We got more?
Actually got more coming up. Like what? How about a little something we call the feed?
Nice.
It's a news thing. And after that, we watch as a collective urban army rolls all over the modern art scene. Stick around. All right, welcome back. To celebrate your return, we've got some insider film tricks that'll help you polish up your sloppy home movies. Not bad. And we'll gaze in wonderment at the latest user creations. But now we want to talk about the vinyl toy scene.
Yes.
Yes. You all right?
No, I'm fine,
do you not
I'm
want to
fine.
talk about it? We
I
can talk
do.
about something else.
It's just a funny thing to say. Sorry, keep going.
Well, the vinyl toy scene, it is important. It's blowing up. It's getting huge. It's making it big. It's where all the major players are at.
That's right.
So, and now apparently Weedy Wheat Studios, in conjunction with the toy designer known as Mad, invited 50 of the best artists to turn this little guy right here into a 20-inch canvas. So you know what we did?
What's that?
We decided to crash the party.
We got a two-part deal here. We got the show that's produced by Weedy Wheat over at Chunking Road at Hulu's Repair Shop Gallery. And then over here, we're doing the premiere of Phase 2 of the Mad L's. And everybody who buys a Mad L gets a raffle ticket to win Jeremy Mad's big custom piece.
The spectrum is so huge. It goes anywhere from fine artists that are very painterly and traditional style, to graffiti artists, to graphic designers, to people that strictly do just like decal art or stencil art.
The show has always been in the plans from the beginning. It was part of the idea when I first pitched it to Richard at Weedy Wheat. And, you know, I was surprised it happened so fast after we started the figures, but that was a part of the idea that he really, really liked. So he decided to produce it.
I met Jeremy 2 years ago at Toy Fair. And he's like, oh, I'm a toy designer. I got this toy. So he sent me pictures, and I fell in love with it. And the design is so simple, but if you look at it, you don't really pick up that one ear is bigger than the other. There's one arm that's a little longer. The legs are a little different. So it's got this little bit of uniqueness to it. It just has a personality even when it's just a blank model.
These are Rotocast vinyl. Rotocast is considered the cheapest way to manufacture something unless you do it by hand or you're sewing. The canvas itself is kind of a representation of my son, who at the time was just born and just kind of had this idea to make a little kid, and the models were part of it.
You have a lot of artists now who are making toys. I think what's happening is, like, graffiti artists, artists in general, they are maturing. You know, we're getting older. Back in the days, we didn't give a damn. We're running around, tagging things, just getting bananas, because we don't care. And if you can utilize your skills in design, making a toy, a lot of people are doing it, you get some ends, you know, you survive. But at the same time, you're still promoting the art, you're still making things happen, you're still being creative. I think that's the key word. Most artists, it's in their blood to be creative by any outlet, by any means necessary type of thing.
This is actually all spray paint. Did a lot of masking, got some Q-tips out, but I tried to use spray paint as probably 99.9% of all my work.
We got Reverend Butters from Aerosol Warfare Gallery out of Houston, Texas. He's here sculpting ice, 300-pound blocks of ice into a giant model.
My medium is ice. I'm close to 10 years in the ice game. That's all I do, any and everything out of ice.
We never expected it to blow up to where it is now. Everybody in this genre is very laid back and relaxed, and, you know, everybody's got a good attitude. So it's really cool. It's like a big family.
That's pretty cool.
Very impressive
I like
stuff,
that.
right? And this is what they started with. If you're wondering, this is the solid white Madel. These are the little guys painted, and then here he is, totally finished. And notice the little swivel action.
Yeah.
It's not quite a kung fu grip, but it's cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool. Some of those designs were just amazing.
Yeah, they do some really good stuff. Now, moving on, there are plenty of imitators, Kevin, but only one that can truly call itself the Feed.
Gentlemen, now movie pirates who sneak camcorders into theaters are this close to facing jail time for their little enterprise. And since our writer gets such a kick out of making me do a pirate voice whenever we get stories like this, here goes. Arr! Unhand me camera, you brigand! What do you think? Okay, both the Senate and the House of Representatives have passed a bill that would send movie pirates to jail for up to 3 years. The bill also cracks down on industry types who leak movies before their scheduled release date. Also attached to the bill and sort of slid under the door so nobody would notice, a green light for companies who edit DVDs to make them more family-friendly. President Bush is expected to sign the bill into law just as soon as he finds his pen. It happens. Google recently noticed that an inordinate amount of people seemed to be clicking on certain ads and they smelled a rat. And then they filed a lawsuit. It seems a company called Auctions Expert, which has a deal with Google Ads where advertisers can place ads on Auction Expert sites, and then both Auction Expert and Google get paid every time somebody clicks on them. Well, Auction Expert may have artificially inflated their profits just a bit. How, you ask? By hiring people to spend all day clicking on ads. Ah, genius. So wait a second. I went to college and worked my ass off and somebody gets paid to click a mouse? Hold on, I'm going to go punch my guidance counselor in the face. No, I'm not, actually. Serenity. Faced with the troubling fact that EverQuest gamers have found numerous ways to turn in-game trades and transactions into real-world profit, Sony has naturally decided to put an end to it. No, actually that should read, decided to carve off a nice hunk of moolah for themselves. Yeah, makes a little bit more sense. The company is testing out a system that would allow it to be the go-between for sales of EverQuest game coins and characters. The system works by removing an item posted on the auction board until it's sold, then transferring it to the new owner. The process is anonymous and nearly free. Sony will just take a little small commission on all sales. If you have a problem with that, doesn't matter. It's Sony. And finally, if Attack of the Show had a motto, it would definitely be, everything's better when you add monkeys. So good. A SWAT team in Mesa, Arizona actually agrees with us. We're not the only ones, because the Mesa Police Department wants to draft the super smart capuchin monkey onto its team. envisioning how the tiny little scamps with their puzzle-solving skills and human-like hands could be used in the field to unlock doors and search buildings and even find people. They even plan on making tiny little Kevlar vests for them. How adorable is that? Talk about putting the special into special weapons and tactics, huh? They teach a cute little parrot to talk somebody off a ledge. I am so moving to Arizona. But until then, that's today's feed. See you in the desert.
Little cute little monkeys.
Little monkeys,
little
huh?
SWAT team.
So they find people, they pick locks, they don't carry any type of...
They actually carry flashbangs.
No, they do not.
Yeah, they do. They toss the actual monkey
serious?
into the room with the flashbang because their eyes aren't sensitive to the light.
You're lying.
Totally. I have no idea what I'm talking about.
I knew it.
It's still kind of cool, though.
It would be kind of cool.
Flashbang monkey. All right, coming up, we'll take a look at this week's user created from all y'all. That's from all
y'all.
All y'all. And our next guest will tell you why you don't need to go to film school unless you really, really want to pay $30,000 to watch Fellini movies.
The Feed is brought to you by the U.S. Navy. Navy, accelerate your life.
We're playing Joint Operations Escalation in this week's Attack of the Show LAN Party. The legal information in the manual of Joint Ops Escalation says that you, the gamer, acknowledge that you are playing this game at your own risk. But what they don't tell you is that the game disc may burst into flames without warning. Now register, go to our LAN Party and click on Join Our LAN Party. You'll get all the details and the links to get started. We'll see you Thursday for the LAN Party. Now, our next guests have written several books on the subject of digital video production, and today they're here to show some expert advice for aspiring filmmakers out there. Please welcome Pete Shaner and Gerald Everett. Hey, guys.
Hey.
So the first thing I thought that was really interesting is that you say you don't have to go to film school.
Not really anymore.
No more.
Well, there used to be 3 good reasons for going to film school. One was they had all the toys. They had all the equipment. They had the cameras. The other one was you would see films there that you would never see anywhere else.
Right.
And the third was for networking, just to find a bunch of friends that did the same sort of thing. Now with DVDs and things like Netflix and all the places you can get them, you can find almost any movie that's ever been out there.
Right, so you have access to all those movies that you would normally, go to school for.
Right, exactly.
Now, what about the other things, though? What about the equipment?
What we're seeing is you might call it the garage band model of video is coming. If you see what happened in the music business where the barriers to access went down, the tools don't cost really anything anymore, or you can rent, or, we borrowed most of the stuff that we used to shoot the DVD for the book. We borrowed that from media department of a school.
Yeah, anybody with a reasonably powerful computer and a mini DV camera can do anything now. The tools are that powerful.
No, I agree. I mean, I've seen just over the last few years, they're just getting easier and easier to use. What do you guys recommend? I mean, is this something I'm going to need a high-end Mac for, and like Final Cut to do, or?
If you're going to get really serious about it, eventually you should get there. But to start out, you can use software that comes free on either the Mac or on Windows platforms.
Use whatever came with Sony. If you buy a Sony Vaio, you get the Sony Vaio suite.
Right.
Use the Pinnacle Studios bundled with some as an editing program. Use whatever came with the computer, because really, in the beginning, you want to talk about assembly. You want to talk about telling a story, getting getting things in sequence so that it has a kind of a screen logic to it. Not mess with transitions and compositing and all that other stuff, which you'll get to, you'll want to get to, you want to do all that cool stuff.
Right.
But, get your feet wet.
Now, how do you learn about, like, say, lighting and different shots and angles and things like that?
By the book.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's why you're here.
Exactly. No, that's the thing that you still need to learn.
Okay.
Because you've got the tools now, because a $300 or a $400 digital video camera will shoot stuff that is better than TV is going to see anyway, in terms of resolution.
Right.
But what you need is, you need to know, okay, how do I tell a story with pictures? How do I use lights? How do I use sound? How do I do that? And that's what film school used to give you.
Right.
You can get that in our book. That's one place to get it. But the other place, too, is all DVDs now have got director's commentary tracks. They've got behind the scenes. They've got making ofs. Each one of those is a little film school in itself.
Yeah, we use some of your techniques in your book here, Digital Filmmaking for Teens. A few of them were about, faking fight scenes. And this is actually something that's very common, obviously, if you're making a movie that has
we
to
didn't
do
want to have to say, don't try this at home.
Right.
Because we knew that they were going to try it. So we wanted them to do it safely.
Yeah, there's a safe way to do it.
Pete was a martial arts advisor on a couple of movies. And actually, it turns out that when you find out how to really do this stuff, it's kind of boring, but it's safe.
Right. Okay, well, we actually took a few of the different methods. We started off with the punch. And we actually have some footage of it here. Walk me through.
Okay, now
what
if
you're
you watch,
saying.
that's an excellent one, right?
He just got hit. Oh, wait.
But there, they showed you the fact that there was actually no contact. And the key thing between these is, and this one here also shows you that there's no physical contact between them.
I see.
The key is you place the camera in such a position that you don't see that the fist and the face never connect.
Right. And the receiver of the punch is selling that punch as much as the person who's delivering it. The actual reacting to the pain, snapping the head back at exactly the
Which
right
is right
time.
there. You saw that. And again, in this next one, you notice, you watch when the hat comes on.
Right.
That sells it.
It's that
And
extra
he's got
jerk
that look of, oh, that hurt.
Right. It's everything. The face gestures
It's
and
acting, you know?
Yeah.
So it really is.
That's all
It really is the person who's receiving the punch makes it look like it was painful and makes it look like it worked.
Staggering, and then of course we even describe how to use some corn syrup and food coloring, so you get some stage makeup. And
Right.
You build it up a little bit at a time, so it looks like you're getting more and more.
Beat up as it goes along.
Absolutely.
Now, tell me, one of the most popular movies, obviously, was The Matrix recently, and there's actually a way to do The Matrix without all the fancy computers and the blue screen.
Exactly.
We actually tried that one as well. Tell me about this and how it works.
Well, the effect that they use in Matrix, they call bullet time, which is where, if you take a look, that
was awesome.
There's a punch, and then it looks like everything freezes while the camera moves in space while things are frozen. And an easy way to fake that is to, when you've got your actors out there, you have your actors actually move a little slowly because you're going to be playing with the speed.
Breakdancing isn't part of it.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the dancing is about there, exactly. And so you have them throw the punch.
Right.
And then at a
Nice
certain
and slow.
Nice and slow.
Okay.
And you can actually make contact with that because you're going really slow.
Right. So it
And the
doesn't
other
matter
person
if your hand is...
is right, is going to move like that. And then at a certain point, you have them freeze. You actually have them stop moving. And then you, as the camera operator, you just walk around them. And that's the way you get that feeling of time has frozen.
And we saw that it was speeded up a little bit during that, and then you slow it back down again, right?
You slow
Or
it
play
back down.
in
So
real time.
usually you'll slow it down while the action occurs, and then while the camera is moving around through space, you'll speed it up, and then you'll slow it back down again when the person reacts to being punched.
One of the things that's happened with stunts in big budget movies lately is an attention on the reaction to the punch. The selling the violence with how horrific it was.
Right.
And you actually don't see the contact because that's considered not PC, or the blood gushing because that's considered like too gross. But the horrific reaction, both on the part of the person who was contacted, the person who dealt the blow, is that's the adds to the, oh my God.
Yeah.
You know.
And also make sure they get that friendly PG-13 rating.
That's right. You got to get that. Well,
So
thanks,
it's
guys,
okay.
for coming in.
It's okay to do it that way.
I appreciate it, and I recommend everyone go and check out your books. You have a website, too, right? What's the website?
www.lapuerta.tv.
There you go.
LAPUERTA.
All right, make sure to pick up their new book coming out soon, 24P, Make Your Digital Movies Look Like Hollywood. Now, coming up after the break, we'll take your calls and questions for Oddworld creator Lauren Landing. And when we get back, we have a fat sack of user created. We're going to grind all over the set. We'll see you in under 4 minutes and 20 seconds.
The main ingredient in tomorrow's attack of the show is cabbage! Plus, we'll meet a guy who makes a living with computer-simulated goo. All right. And we snuck into the Segway factory and tried to make off with a couple of free rides, but unfortunately, we were pretty easy to catch, if you know what I mean. And guns will be a-blazing, and our guest will be blazing hot in our Thursday LAN party. Now, here's this week's User Created.
All right, everybody. As you know, your last assignment was to create your own next-gen console. We
Yes.
were pretty excited to see what people came up with.
Apparently, they came up with some good ones, right?
Yes, we actually got a lot of really good responses, so we're going to take a look now at our top 5 favorites.
All right, here we go.
First one, it's Kick-Ass Console from Malcolm Bach Crystal. I hope that's really your name, because that is a cool name.
Yeah,
Malcolm Bach Crystal.
Interesting. Kick-ass console. All right, fair enough.
console, yeah.
A whole
You digging
console
it?
and a power supply.
Second one comes from, it's called Omega by David Edge.
It's actually pretty stylish.
It looks like a cup holder, too. Which can really come in handy when you're gaming on the road.
Yes,
You
yes.
know?
And for the games that require 2 CDs at the same time, that's the perfect console.
Never forget the cup holder. It's very important. Third one is the 3G Pod console from Cutter White.
All right.
Some of these people's names.
Yeah.
Someone's name Cutter?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Well,
I don't know about that
suppose
one,
it's
Cutter.
Sure.
But, all right, fair
Well,
enough.
you know, it's A for effort. Next one, the AOTS console or DAS station. I guess it could go either way.
Yeah, yep.
You know, just whatever you want to call it, from Darren Tilley.
That's actually pretty stylish.
It looks stylish.
It looks legit. Nice
It
little
looks
Wi-Fi antenna on it, too.
A little Mac Mini-like, perhaps, inspired.
Not bad.
We can dig it. And finally, the Brick console from John Rubke.
I don't think you really shouldn't say much more about it. I don't
Well,
think
you know,
you need to.
what I want to know is how he drilled into the brick. How?
See, no, you
How?
already
It's
gave
going to keep me up.
You already gave it too much. It was the brick console. And
Sorry.
That's that.
I have questions.
Fair enough. He has answers.
No, he doesn't. You didn't
Oh.
tell us anything.
All right, fair enough.
Gosh. All right, next week, each of you have a homework assignment. I'm sorry, I'm just
All right,
on your
fair enough.
case today.
That's all right. Punch me in the throat. Let's just get it over with.
Now I'm going to punch my guidance counselor in the face.
That's right.
And
You're
after
just
that, I'm gonna
angry,
punch you
Sarah,
in the
today. You're
face.
aggro, man.
Yeah. All right, I want you to go out and make an Attack of the Show t-shirt. We need t-shirts.
Yes, Attack of the Shirts.
We like Attack of the Shirts, but we want to see what else you have to come up with before we go out and spend all this money and print a bunch of shirts that nobody wants.
Yeah.
So we'll be showing off the best designs next week. Make sure to go to our website for the AOTS t-shirt design kit. I'm just kidding. Who doesn't want an AOTS
Everybody's going to want one.
Everybody!
But you know what else they want, Sarah? They
What?
want phone calls
All right.
with Mr. Lauren Lanning. Lauren, thank you for joining us again.
you bet, Kevin.
You ready to, we're going to open up the floodgates
Okay.
and allow the callers to come and bombard you with questions about why you're quitting video games and lashing out at the industry? I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
Mark
thanks.
joins us on the phone from Palmdale, California. That's going to be the one thing that they clip out, by the way. It's going to be, oh, Kevin said Lauren's quitting.
Exactly.
Mark, are you there, buddy?
Yeah.
How's it going? How's it going?
It's going pretty good.
Awesome, awesome. You have a question for Mr. Lanning.
Yeah, I was just wondering how he came up with, the unique characters in the Oddworld series.
Yes. Now, how did you come up with them? I mean, is this you
Well,
went to a
what we
Fish
did-
concert, got lost in the parking lot, ended up with a video game? Or?
No, well, we were always inspired by like the properties like Star Wars, right? When you just saw crazy stuff, and the more that crazy types of characters could embody really human dilemmas and human emotions and issues that we're dealing with in the modern world, then maybe they'd have audience appeal. So what we did when we created Oddworld was we hired some of the best production designers that we could find, and it was some really talented guys, and then we had a lot of powwow sessions on what is the style of this universe. And to me, it was about, the overall property was about the dark side of globalization and
Right.
really having fun with that.
Right.
It's kind of a dark topic, but we should have some fun with that.
Sure.
And in the process of the characters, we wanted to create like a really bizarre world, but yet that was very endearing. And specifically for Abe, the designer, Steve Olds, who actually put the pencil to paper, we'd talk a lot about it, and we were talking about like salamanders or geckos, things like this
Right.
that had eyes and faces that when you looked at, it was like a chihuahua or something. You just go, that's so cute,
Sure.
and yet only a face a mother could love.
Right. Now, was there a character that was designed and you went back and said, oh, that's not going to work gameplay mechanic-wise, we got to change certain things about it? Or?
No, we did pretty well because he was basically in semi-human form.
Right.
And so we went through a lot of iterations in the beginning. I mean, this is 10 years ago.
Sure, sure.
And then finally we settled on one that we felt was more capturing the emotional qualities that we were going for, which is we wanted someone who was really endearing.
Yeah, you definitely hit it on the head with it.
Well, thank you.
All right, Jonathan joins us on the phone from Lebanon, Tennessee. Didn't know there was a Lebanon in Tennessee. Very nice.
Nice.
Jonathan, you there, buddy? Jonathan?
There's no longer a
Going
Lebanon.
once, going twice, and that's it. The phone lines in Lebanon, not so top-notch. Mike joins us on the phone from Salinas, Está aquí, California. Mike, you there?
Yeah.
How's it going, buddy?
Pretty good. Love the show.
Oh, thank you. We love it too. What's going on with your question? You have one for Lauren?
Yeah, I wanted to know, I was hearing a lot about a movie, and do you got any information about that?
Well, not so much specifically, and a lot of this stuff you want to
You want to just
You're
give it
kinda
away on live
superstitious,
TV
you know?
here on Attack
You
of
want-
the
you
Show.
want- you
So
want-
what's the plot and who's starring in it?
Yeah, I can say that's not officially greenlit yet, but we're investing more and more energy to head in that direction, and that's part of the reason for our recent decisions.
I pity the movie studio that turns down the Abe movie. I
well,
really
thank
do.
you, thank you.
Who would you have do VO for? Would you have the same people who did VO for the games do it for the movie? If you
Well, you know, that guy who did the games, I mean, he was amazing. Right. That guy who did the game voices.
He was pretty good.
He was-
I just don't know that he
was
can
just-
cut it on the big screen, Lauren. I don't know. I don't know if he has that
I
star
don't know.
caliber.
I don't know. You know, CAA represents us, and at different times they say, "Well, what about so and so? And what about so and so?" And you know, I don't want to jinx anything, but who knows? You know, it could go various ways. And but
Cliffy
whatever.
B as Munch, perhaps. He's also rep by CAA, I believe. No,
is he?
I don't know.
Sure.
I think he is.
I'm not sure.
He should be.
But Cliffy B, has Cliffy B been doing voices?
He actually asked me, he instant messaged me and said, please get me involved with the movie. And I was like, dude, stop trying to get yourself involved with stuff.
Nice.
But he really wants to. So.
Well, he's always been a big fan, and he's always been a great supporter.
Right.
So we'll see. But we're putting a lot of energy on making it happen. So
All right. Well,
we'll see, and hopefully
we look forward to it. We want to see it. Thanks again for coming on the show.
Hey,
We
thank
appreciate
you.
it, Lauren. Now, stay where you are. We'll be checking our IRC chat room and maybe answering a question again today when we come back. And our chatters, look at it. It's a Jinx T-shirt. Boom. We got them. Our callers are getting them, not our chatters. We don't care about the text, folks. Only the voice. There it is. You're getting them. Now, stick around. We're going to answer some questions. All right, you folks want to check in on the old IRC chat room?
Yeah, why not?
All right, let's do it.
First one from Cheat51, who asks, what is Sarah's favorite video game? Actually, I mean, this is a little embarrassing, but I'm addicted to Bejeweled, and I downloaded it for my cell phone. And I know
Every meeting,
all right,
it's just like
She
right,
hides it,
Sarah,
she
and she's like
hides
under the
it.
table.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I don't need to look at you to agree with you.
Oh.
Well, no, she's got a point.
fine.
She just knows that she
Thank
should
you.
agree, and that's that.
I'm a woman. We make good points. No, I love it, and it's just one of those games. I'm kind of addicted to it right now, and one day I'll be addicted to something else. Next one, Exterminator 13. Where can I find a good website to provide me with free web space? Not free.
Three web space.
No, free. Like not
That's a
paying.
good question, Kev. Do you know?
Is he hosting for a website? Or
I mean,
is
if
it
you're doing
just
like
for
blogs,
file sharing?
no, I'm serious. Like if you're doing blog stuff, it's pretty. I mean, there's a lot of free blog services out there.
Right, yeah, there's no need to pay for it anymore. I mean, I don't know what Blogger, I don't know what limitations Blogger gives you or any of those free services, so.
Really
Too,
can't
I
upload
mean,
a lot of
as
stuff.
far as text and pictures, I mean, it
Isn't
just
there an app
depends.
to use Gmail accounts as like file servers
That's really
for
hardcore.
for webmail now?
It's not that hardcore. We talked about how to do it on the show.
Well, it's still hardcore. I mean, it's not like practical. The
Exterminator
Gmail drive.
13, I believe in you. I think you can do it.
All right.
We'll put some links in the show notes.
Yeah, we'll find the answer, is what basically we're saying. We've come to the end of another show. Try not to get weepy, Sarah. It's okay.
All right. Big thanks to our guests, Lauren Lanning, Pete Shaner, and Gerald Everett Jones. Now get out of here. We've got a Hot Boxes popsicle stand. 420. Woo!
I went to a Russian MP3 site and bought 20 albums for $5.
Information before it gets shut down.
So what if he won Best Actor? I just found naked photos of him on...
The truth before it gets filtered.
2 hours ago, I uploaded unauthorized photos from the new movie...
Cool crap before it's just crap. The show that gets it before it gets out. Attack of the Show, Monday live at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific.